I never imagined a world where a phrase like Netflix and chill would appear on my phone screen coming from my own son, and I certainly never imagined how I would react to it. For a terrifying heartbeat, I just stared at the screen, frozen. My mind was spinning, my face went hot, and I honestly wondered if I was hallucinating. But what started as a moment of pure shock turned into one of the most raw, honest nights of my life. By the time the movie ended that night, I wasn't just mom anymore. I was a woman who finally found the courage to admit the truth, to my son and to myself. Before I tell you what happened next and how I replied, I have a question for you. Where in the world are you listening from right now? I want you to drop your city or country in the comments. I love visualizing you out there. Maybe you're sipping your morning coffee, winding down in bed, or stuck in traffic on the way home. Let me know where you are. Okay, let's go back to that evening. My name is Alexis. I'm 45 years old, and lately my life feels like a library after closing time. Quiet, orderly, and full of stories that no one is reading. I have one son, Sebastian. He's 23, built tall and lean like his father, but he has my eyes, dark, soulful, and usually a bit too serious. Ever since my divorce, this house has mostly been a container for my thoughts. It's clean, almost surgically clean, because there's no one here to make a mess. It was a Tuesday. You know the kind, a Tuesday that feels heavy, tasting like stale coffee and missed opportunities. I had just finished the dinner cleanup. The scent of lemon soap and roast chicken was still lingering in the air. The TV was murmuring in the background, casting a flickering blue light across the beige walls, but I wasn't really watching. Outside, the street was dead silent. No kids playing, just the rhythmic hum of a distant car and the wind in the trees. Sebastian had moved back in a few months ago. Just a pit stop, Mom, he'd told me. Just until I get my feet on the ground. I didn't fight him on it. A selfish part of me was thrilled to have the company. The other part was anxious. He wasn't a child anymore. He was a man with a private life, hushed phone calls, and a world I wasn't part of. That night he was holed up in his bedroom. Through the door I could hear the click-clack of his keyboard and the occasional low rumble of his laugh. I dried my hands on a dish towel and stood in the hallway, staring at his door. I debated knocking just to say goodnight. It's a cruel irony of parenting. When they are toddlers, you count the seconds until bedtime so you can have peace. When they are adults, you look for any excuse to invade their space just to hear their voice. I decided against it. Instead, I sank into the living room couch, pulled a throw blanket over my lap, and opened my phone. You know the drill. 1 minute you're checking the forecast. The next you're spiraling through social media. Perfect couples in Bali, high school friends boasting about grandbabies, cooking videos for meals I'll never cook. I was drowning in that digital noise when a notification dinged at the top of my screen. It was Sebastian. The text read, "Hey Mom, you want to Netflix and chill tonight?" Time stopped. I stared at the pixels. Netflix and chill, if you are anywhere near my generation, you know exactly what that slang implies. The internet has made it very clear. It isn't an invitation to watch a documentary. It's a code, a wink, a phrase used when the movie is just background noise for other activities. I had seen the memes, I knew the joke, but seeing those 3 words coming from my son, I physically looked around the empty room, terrified that someone else was reading over my shoulder. My first thought was, this is an accident. He must have meant to text a girlfriend, or maybe it was a horrific autocorrect. My thumb hovered over the keypad. I could feel my pulse hammering in my throat, a mix of mortification and a strange, jarring reality check. It forced me to see him not as my little boy, but as a man living in a modern world where words have double meanings, a world where I felt like a dinosaur. I typed out 3 different responses. Sebastian, excuse me? Deleted. Is this a joke? Deleted. Finally I settled on, come out here, we need to talk before I answer that. I hit send and held my breath. A moment later his door creaked open. His footsteps came down the hall, heavy and rhythmic. My nerves were electric. He walked into the living room wearing gray sweatpants and a faded band t-shirt, his hair a chaotic mess. He looked so young yet so undeniably adult, it made my chest ache. "What's up?" he asked, collapsing into the armchair opposite me. I turned my phone screen toward him. "You texted me." He frowned, confused, then let out a little snort. "Yeah, Netflix and chill. You down?" He said it so casually. like he was asking if I wanted a glass of water. I squinted at him, searching his face. Sebastian, you are aware of what that phrase actually means, right? For a solid 3 seconds, he stared at me blankly. Then realization hit him like a freight train. His eyes went wide and his face turned a deep crimson. Oh my God, Mom, no, 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 no. He buried his face in his palms. That is not what I meant, I swear. I couldn't hold it back. I burst out laughing. The tension in the room popped like a balloon. I laughed until I was gasping for air, wiping tears from my corners of my eyes. After a moment of mortification, he started laughing too, shaking his head in disbelief. Why on earth would you text your mother that? I managed to choke out. I didn't even think, he groaned, looking at the ceiling. My friends and I say it ironically all the time. We just use it to mean watching movies. I honestly forgot. I forgot who I was texting. He paused, looking at me with a sheepish, lopsided grin. I forgot the context. The atmosphere shifted. The room felt lighter, but beneath the humor, something warm began to settle between us. It had been years since we laughed like that. Not polite dinner-table chuckles, but real, gut-deep laughter. Okay, I said, finally catching my breath. So what was the actual plan? He shifted in the chair, his demeanor changing. He looked vulnerable. I thought we could watch something together. It's been a while. You're always out here alone and I'm always stuck in my cave. I figured we could order a pizza, hang out. The hesitation in his voice broke my heart. For months I had convinced myself that he was pulling away, that I had lost him to adulthood. But here he was, clumsily reaching out in the only language he knew. You nearly gave your mother a cardiac event, I teased gently. Yeah, I get that now, he smirked. Then his face grew thoughtful. Be honest. What did you think when you first read it? This was the moment the night changed. I could have lied, I could have kept it light, but I decided to be brave. I thought you were texting a date, I admitted. And for a split second, I remembered how long it's been since anyone sent me a text like that, even as a joke. His eyebrows shot up. You mean dating stuff? I let out a long sigh, releasing years of pressure. Yeah, dating stuff, intimacy, being desired, all those things you kids make memes about. I gave him a sad smile. Your father and I had our own inside jokes once upon a time, before everything fell apart. Sebastian leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. He put his phone face down on the table. He was really listening. How long has it been? He asked quietly. The question pierced me, not because it was intrusive, but because it was kind. Too long, I whispered. Long enough that I sometimes forget I'm a woman. I feel like I'm just a collection of roles, mom, ex-wife, employee. The house went quiet again, the refrigerator hummed. A dog barked blocks away, but in our living room the world had shrunk down to 2 people. I'm sorry, Mom, he said. I didn't know. You aren't supposed to know, I interrupted. You are the sun. Your job is to build your future, not worry about my loneliness. He swallowed hard, looking at his hands. Maybe. But I do worry. I see you sitting here. I hear you walking around at 2 a.m. I know you pretend you aren't crying, but I can tell when your eyes are red. His voice cracked. I hate it. I felt a lump form in my throat. I thought I was such a good actress. That's why I texted you, he continued. Yeah, the wording was a disaster. But I just wanted to be in the same room with you. To make sure you were okay. It hit me then. The text wasn't about a movie. It was a bridge. He was trying to cross the chasm between mother and adult son. He wasn't a child needing care, he was an adult offering companionship. I looked at him, really looked at him, seeing the stubble on his jaw and the tired circles under his eyes. He had his own burdens. So, he said, breaking the silence, what's the verdict? Netflix and chill? The G-rated version? My answer surprised us both. My answer is yes, I said firmly, but not just to the movie. He tilted his head. What do you mean? I mean yes to being real with each other. Yes to you seeing me as a person, not just the lady who does the laundry. And yes to me seeing you as a man, not just the boy I need to protect. I took a breath. If we're going to do this, let's actually talk. About your life. About mine. A slow, genuine smile spread across his face. Sounds intense, he said. But, good. Are you scared? I asked. Terrified, he laughed. You? Petrified, I admitted. But I think it's time. He stood up and moved to the couch. Instead of taking the far end, he sat right next to me, shoulders brushing. He smelled of fresh laundry and that expensive cologne he wears when he's trying to impress someone. Okay, he said, grabbing the remote. What are we watching for this deeply emotional Netflix and chill session? Nothing with a happy ending, I joked. I can't handle perfect families tonight. Deal, he said. Let's find something where everyone is a mess but they keep trying anyway. Sounds familiar, I murmured. As he scrolled through the menu, I felt a shift inside me. I wasn't any younger, my bills were still unpaid, the divorce still hurt. But sitting there, feeling the warmth of my son next to me, I felt seen. It's funny how life works. Sometimes the biggest moments don't come with a fanfare. Sometimes they come as a misunderstood text message on a Tuesday night. The movie started, bathing the room in flickering light. We shared a bowl of popcorn he insisted on popping. At first we were silent, but about 30 minutes in he paused the film. Mom, yeah? Can I ask you something serious? I turned to him, always. Are you actually okay, generally? I wanted to give the mom answer, the I'm fine answer, but I looked at his face so open and concerned. I'm trying, I whispered. Some days I feel invincible, other days I feel like I'm fading away, like everyone is moving forward and I'm stuck in amber. He didn't try to fix it, he just nodded. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't want to be a burden. You aren't a burden, he said fiercely. You're my mom, and you're still you. You're still you. That phrase healed something in me I didn't know was broken. I miss us, I admitted. I miss knowing you. I miss it too, he said. That's actually why I moved back. My heart skipped. What? It wasn't just about money or figuring things out, he confessed. I missed home. In college, everyone is pretending to be cool. Everyone is wearing a mask. I missed this. Being around someone who actually cares if I wake up in the morning. Tears pricked my eyes. You never told me that. I didn't want to look weak. You aren't weak, I said, grabbing his hand. You're human. We sat there, hand in hand. The movie paused on a freeze frame of two actors looking confused. Can I ask one more thing? He said, rubbing the back of his neck. That moment earlier, when you thought I meant the other thing, did it just embarrass you, or did it make you sad? I was floored by his insight. It reminded me, I said slowly, that I haven't felt wanted in a very long time, and that I miss being seen as a woman, not just a mother. I get that, he said softly, more than you know. We all feel lonely, Mom, even at 23. Sebastian, I whispered, you are growing into a man who understands things I didn't grasp until I was 40. And you, he replied, are a woman who forgets she's allowed to have a life. A single tear rolled down my cheek. Before I could wipe it, he reached out and brushed it away with his thumb. It was such a gentle, reverent gesture. Sorry, he murmured, pulling back. It's okay, I said. Thank you. I just wanted you to know you aren't alone. I know, I whispered, and that means everything. Should we finish the movie, he asked. Let's try. He hit play. He didn't move away. He pulled the blanket over both of us. We sat there, shoulders touching, in a comfortable silence that felt like healing. We didn't really watch the film. We whispered comments, shared memories, and talked about the future. It didn't feel like a movie night anymore. It felt like a reunion. As the credits rolled, I realized that life had given us a second chance. A chance to transition from parent and child to two adults walking side by side, and to think. It all started with the most inappropriate text message in history. Sometimes the most beautiful chapters of our lives start with a misunderstanding. It was the night we stopped pretending. It was the night we finally saw each other. And honestly, it was the best Netflix and chill I could have ever asked for.